Welcome in, everybody, to another edition of Argo Sports Insider. I'm your host, Will Kennedy. I'm joined by UWF, University of West Florida Athletic Director Dave Scott. Each episode here on the program, we get a chance to highlight the University of West Florida athletics and talk about what makes this one of the premier programs in NCAA Division II. Dave and I like each other, but we are socially distancing here because we're still dealing with, with COVID and kind of a stream that is flowing and changing all the time. And so when we last spoke to you in the first episode here in the fall, what has changed a little bit and what kind of things are going on behind the scenes as we look forward to eventually bringing athletic competition back?
Yeah, I mean, we're still dealing with new information every week as it changes. Information from CDC to the state of Florida. The governor's opened a few things up, hopefully moving in a direction of where there's less positives, but still the concern being that there could be a spike, right? So we're also dealing with new information from the NCAA as far as guidelines and requirements for activity and what that looks for winter sports and spring sports, and still trying to figure out a path to have competition for basketball and swimming and diving as we move forward to the future.
Fans out there I know are going to say, NCAA Division I, they are playing football in some conferences, not in others, maybe picking up later. They're playing some other sports as well. But it really comes down, I guess, to testing, the availability of it, and kind of how you can do that effectively and trace and track and make sure all these athletes and student athletes are protected.
Sure. At different levels, there are different sets of resources, right? We're not hiring outside companies to do contact tracing and those kind of things. We're handling that individually, internally, trying to keep up with that process, finding enough tests that you can afford to be able to test your athletes on a routine basis and continually is a challenge. Continually, our national priorities are to protect the individuals that potentially would suffer the most harm, and those resources are being commandeered for our national health situation. So it is a challenge every week to find out you might have worked out a path and then that path is taken over and gone and you have to find something else to do. So yeah, continual challenges and hurdles to move forward.
We're coming off a hurricane. Hurricane Sally came through here as well, which happens occasionally. Fortunately, many years in between. What has been the impact for the athletic department here at the university?
Well, obviously the institution suffered some damage like many places in town, and we're assessing that and going through that. Our teams took the opportunity for student athletes, some of them to re-engage at home. A lot of them volunteered in our community, which was great to see. Following masking and social distancing guidelines and trying to reach out and help our neighbors close to campus or friends in the community. So it was nice to see some of our student athletes being able to do that. And, we've suffered through the storm and hopefully come back and everybody has a great attitude and moving forward, and hopefully we can continue to move forward this semester.
It really was cool, especially social media wise, to see the different teams get out there, rakes and saws and the whole thing and help, not just their coaches and members of the staff and members of the university here, but as you mentioned, in the neighborhoods too. That really is part of what this program does, is that community outreach and getting out there into the community.
Yeah, I mean, we've got some guidelines for our teams as far as size of groups and what they do when they go out. We want them to, we've had a hurricane, so you don't want to throw COVID to the wind, so to speak, but you still got to be mindful of that situation and the pandemic around. So a lot of them have practiced good social distancing guidelines to be able to assist, like you said, not only staff and members of the university, but people in our community, trying to keep things close to campus or where they don't have to travel far. And it's been great to see them have that opportunity to reach out and help the neighbors.
Well, I know you and the rest of the staff working incredibly hard to try to get things where they need to be, and we appreciate that. Thanks for spending a little time with us.
Thank you.
Coming up here next on the show, we're going to dive into men's and women's soccer and talk about what the future looks like for them right here on Argo Sports Insider.
Real change occurs in that split second, a moment of connection among people.
With a common purpose,
a shared vision,
and a unified goal. What will you change?
What will change you? The University of West Florida. No limits.
what does Argo spirit look like? Is it finding the perfect Argo outfit to show your team pride? Is it giving back while getting your pre-game grub? Or is it connecting with your community in the perfect spot? At Pen Air Federal Credit Union, it's being a proud sponsor of UWF Education, the Alumni Association, athletics, Pen Air Field, and having a spirit of communerosity. Learn more at penair.org/about us.
You got me falling hard, sweet baby, got me falling hard for you. And still, I felt this way before, you know it's true. And still, you got me more and more. Oh, you got me falling hard.
This portion of Argo Sports Insider is brought to you by Pen Air Federal Credit Union, Jenny King, Hill Kelly Dodge, High Point Hotel Group, and the Florida Lottery.
Welcome back into Argo Sports Insider. Joining us now is UWF men's soccer coach Bill Elliott. We are masked up, social distancing protocols and all that kind of stuff because we're inside here today. Thanks for joining us, Coach. And
Sure.
I know it's been a wild time for you, for your program. Your normal spring was disrupted, and now here we are in the fall, and it is not your normal fall.
It is not. Between everything that's been going on with the pandemic and the hurricane, it has been the most unique fall of my coaching career for sure.
I always get this wrong too, by the way, every time we kind of do one of our sports introductions. How many years have you been here now? I don't want to get it wrong.
This is my 26th year here at West Florida.
So when Coach Elliott says that he's never seen anything like this, you've seen a lot of different stuff, including Hurricane Ivan years ago and lots of other stuff.
Yeah, I mean, and just when you think as a coach that you've possibly experienced all that there is, you find out that there's more. And yeah, we've been through a lot with Hurricane Ivan and just other things over the years, but the pandemic and now the hurricane on top of that, it's been crazy.
So here in the fall, what are you doing with your guys and your team to kind of keep them, active and keep them kind of working towards the goal of eventually getting back out on the pitch again?
Well, we have a great strength and conditioning staff, and so they're working with the team a couple of days a week. And then 2 other days of the week, we are trying to get out on the field and do some technical training and just some small group stuff, which is about all we are able to do at this point. We hope to get back to some team activity sometime soon, full team activity. But part of the problem for us, uniquely, we have 10 Brazilians, and so they're all sitting in Brazil because the travel bans. So we've only got 19 out of 31 that are even here on campus.
How do you stay in contact, especially with those players who are stuck out of country?
Well, we stay in contact with WhatsApp, and we've done Zoom meetings, just like everyone else in the world is doing right now, and had some conversations with them. But we try to check on them individually to make sure they're staying on top of their academic progress, because the majority of them are taking classes anyway. So it's just really find ourselves being more academic counselors than coaches at the moment.
You're 26 years here, obviously. What about this Pensacola area and UWF kind of stands out for you? You've seen so many changes, not just to the university, but the athletic department as well.
Well, the growth, I mean, for me, it's just incredible. I mean, you blink your eyes, and 26 years to someone who's been here 3 probably sounds like a lot, but for me, it seems like I just got here, really. But the growth has been unbelievable. Not only in, I think the student population was maybe around 6,000 when I first got here, so it's more than doubled. University Parkway was a 2-lane road with no sidewalks, no lights, no stores other than I think there was the bank and Hardee's and Circle K. Like there was no Publix, Target, Walmart, Food Center, all that has changed, so it's just been incredible to see the growth.
A lot has happened in that time. For you, I know this may be a tough one because, when you've been somewhere for a long time and the great teams that you've had and coached, is there a moment or two that stand out for you in your tenure here at UWF as kind of, that you look back on with the most fondness?
Well, I mean, there's been a lot of great moments, there's no doubt, a lot of championships, and breakthrough moments. But being a part of, in 2006, advancing to a national semifinal and doing it in a year where we were hosting it here in Pensacola at Brosnahan, that was an incredible experience. Stadium out there, I'm not even sure what the capacity is, 3,000 but there was people were telling me they couldn't leave their seat to go to the bathroom because there was nowhere, they couldn't come back to their seat. They were having to stand around the fences. And so that was pretty cool. It was great.
Last thing for you, and I know it's tough to kind of pin it down yet. When can we hopefully see your team back out there on the pitch?
Well, we hope to be back out. I know the conference is being really diligent in trying to put together something for the spring, which we hope can happen. But obviously we've, local guidelines and health guidelines and NCAA guidelines and all that. We just don't know if it'll come together, but we're hopeful. We're planning to play some games in the spring as of right now, and I think the Gulf South Conference has done a great job of trying to organize something for the membership.
Well, we will be ready. Everybody will be ready. All the Argo fans out there for whenever that moment is. Thanks for joining us.
Yep.
Coach Bill Elliott. Coming up next, we'll check in on women's soccer with Coach Joe Bartlinski right here on Argo Sports Insider.
Real change occurs in that split second.
A moment of connection among people.
Change is inclusive.
Change is collaborative.
Change is transformative.
Change connects. Who will you connect with?
What will you change?
What will change you? The University of West Florida. No limits.
For those who measure success by the worn tread on their tires, and those who strengthen their body and mind and drift through their weekends over nature's current. Andrews Institute, for those who move.
We've delivered hot, fresh, made-to-order burgers to your table every day since 1950. Now, we're just delivering them a little farther. Right to your front door. Guess you could call them special deliveries. Delivery has arrived at Whataburger. Use our app or order at whataburger.com.
Welcome back into the show. Time to talk women's soccer now with UWF head coach Joe Bartlinski. Strange times. We were just talking with Coach Elliott in the previous segment about how different this is as another coach who's been here at the university for a while. Have you ever been through anything that you can even really compare to what we've gone through the last 6 months or so?
2004, with Ivan that came through, we had a similar situation where we had to shut down our season. And that group took full responsibility. They did all the right things. And in that year, our team the next year went as far as we had ever gone in the past, one of our first regionals. So with the right focus, like that 2005 team, great things can actually come of this.
Is that sounds like when you have lemons and you make lemonade out of them, Coach?
Well, we actually, and during that year, we brought the team together early in preseason of the next year, and we took a trip. We took a Caribbean cruise and played national teams of St. Lucia and Antigua. So when you were presented with a situation like that, you can look at it as a setback. I looked at it as an opportunity, and the best our teams on the women's side had ever done prior to that, again, was going to be that 2005 season. So this is a bit of a setback, but it depends on how we handle this. Depends on if this is a setback or an opportunity. And I've always looked at it as an opportunity. But it's not what I look at, it's what our leadership looks at as far as our team leadership. How are they going to handle this, these months without organized soccer. And so it falls on our senior leadership and our juniors to be doing the right things and have the right focus. Right now, academically, things are going great. We're following a semester of a 3.66 in the spring, and things look good now. So I know they're focused along the grades, and that's fantastic. They're here for a degree. Now how are they focusing with their soccer? Only time will tell.
How did you keep up and keep in contact with your team through the rest of the spring and through the summer?
Zoom. So, yeah, I mean, even as like 2 days ago, we were able to connect on some things that we needed to connect with. And so we have to be intentional about it and stay in touch with them and get the buy-in as we look towards fall of 2021. I mean, that's really the what we're shooting for. And you have to have the true buy-in from now until then. And staying in contact with this modern technology, and Zoom happened to be very helpful and useful in that realm.
Coaches are creatures of habit, no doubt about it. That you kind of get into your rhythms and you do the things you do.
Yep.
That was disrupted, but not just practice and time with your team. Recruiting, all those other kind of things. What's that balance been like?
Well, we're lucky in Division II to be recruiting right now as we speak, and other divisions aren't. So we're taking full use of that. So, we've maintained our habits. I get my steps in the morning. I get my crunchy ice Mountain Dew, later in the afternoon.
Important stuff.
Yeah, important stuff. So I keep the habits going. But we're able to recruit during this, and our ID camps and everything have been fantastic. And the quality of players that we're looking at potentially coming in has been great. And so, again, it's a setback, but really for us, it's an opportunity. And that's what we've looked at, and we've taken full use of this time.
This has been a huge impact for all players, all students, and everyone involved in University of West Florida athletics. But just kind of thinking along those lines, and Coach Elliott was telling us the last segment, he's got a lot of players from Brazil. You have some international players on your team as well. There's a little extra impact for them. What's that juggling been like as far as making sure people can get back, or how they have to adjust what they do?
Well, again, you have to take care of them as an individual. So if someone comes from Iceland, you got to make sure that their needs and everything are taken care of. So a little bit extra attention is spent towards them. But we have a lot of Floridians, a lot of U.S. players these days, and so when you have just a few internationals, you're just making sure, because their parents are pretty far away, that they have all the necessities that they need. And it's not us, it's also the seniors and our leadership, again, need to be fully engaged with them in their lives and making sure that their lives are going well.
Hoping to get some action in the spring, depending?
Yeah, we'll definitely get the training and get the foundation, here in the fall. And in the spring, it looks, the conference is talking about quite a bit. So we're excited about the spring, but we have a great opportunity here in the next few months to set that foundation for future seasons and future teams.
Is it okay if I try the crushed ice Mountain Dew thing?
It's great. It's a great pick-me-up about 1:30 in the afternoon. Now you can go with the salted peanuts or the granola kind of sweet and salty thing as well. It pushes me over the top and carries me through that training session.
We're going to get a cooking show for this guy coming up next. Coach, thanks for spending a little time with us. Coming up next here on the show, we're going to dive in, spend a little time with our student athletes. We've got two good ones from the cross-country programs right here on Argo Sports Insider.
What does Argo spirit look like? Is it finding the perfect Argo outfit to show your team pride? Is it giving back while getting your pre-game grub? Or is it connecting with your community in the perfect spot? At Pen Air Federal Credit Union, it's being a proud sponsor of UWF Education, the Alumni Association, athletics, Pen Air Field, and having a spirit of communerosity. Learn more at penair.org/aboutus.
You got me falling hard, sweet baby, got me falling hard for you. And still, I felt this way before, you know it's true. And still, you got me more and more. Oh, you got me falling hard.
This portion of Argo Sports Insider is brought to you by Coca-Cola, Baptist Healthcare and the Andrews Institute, Publix, Whataburger, and CPC Office Technologies.
We're back here on Argo Sports Insider. In each program, we like to spend a little time with our student athletes, one male, one female, get to know them a little bit better, find out where they're from, what kind of things they like, and what their plans are in school and after school. And we're going to cross country this week, spending some time with Alyssa Langston and Hailey Myddelton.
Hi, my name is Alyssa Langston. I'm from Tallahassee, Florida, and I'm a junior on the cross-country team. I love the beaches down here, and the nature trails on campus are great, and they're perfect for running and for the training that we do. I love that there's a goal to it. You always have room for improvement, and as much as it's a team sport, it's also an individual sport, and you have room to improve yourself, and when you improve, it helps the whole team. When we run together, it's great, like bonding time. We can talk about our classes and what we're going through, and it just really helps us get closer as a team on our runs. I actually played soccer, and I ran, and I did track too, which is different than cross country. But I played soccer growing up. I definitely can't sing, but I do paint.
What do you like about painting? Like, kind of how is it?
It's calming, kind of the same way that running is. It's a therapeutic thing.
What do you paint?
I like still lifes or just really anything that I see.
Like Bob Ross out of Cloud.
I don't think I'm that good, but hip hop, R&B, something that pumps you up, something gets you ready to go. I'm a communications major with a minor in Spanish. I am not going to be using my major. I guess I could be using my minor a little bit, but I am planning to join the Marines. I want to be a pilot and hopefully fly the F-35s. I like the challenge, and I think that if I was going to go into any branch, I want the branch that's going to be the most challenging, and that would be the Marines for me. And the same thing with the pilot. I like the challenge. I think it's going to be a really interesting experience. I think the funny one on the team would have to be Myra. She always has something funny to say, and she's great for long runs. It's always fun to talk with her. I think the inspirational one would be Leah. She's kind of the mom of the group. She's super sweet, and she would be the best for inspirational talks. I think my favorite candy would be a Twizzler, and that's kind of a controversial candy, but that's my favorite. And like a blue Gatorade, yeah.
Lots of color thrown.
Yeah, I don't have to worry about my teeth either, hopefully.
Hi, I'm Hailey Myddelton. I'm a junior and I'm from Paxton, Florida. Paxton's a really small town, so being in Pensacola, I know it's not a big city, but it's definitely nice to have things to do and places to go. I definitely love going to the beach. Honestly, just the water, the sand is nice. I like to play volleyball on the beach, and there's a lot of people. It definitely is an adjustment, just practicing every morning at 6 a.m., even on weekends, and I'm not used to that in high school. And then that intertwined with just schoolwork, it is an adjustment. I like to play video games, just do stuff with my friends and whatever, play basketball.
So what video games are you into?
I play Call of Duty. That's pretty much it. Any kind of rap, hip hop. Honestly, I'm pretty diverse. I like even some rock, classic rock. Not really country, but I used to one day. Honestly, NCAA is going to give us another year. I'm going to try to come back here to graduate school, get my master's of science in nursing, and then after that, I don't know, just try to get a job somewhere in Pensacola maybe. My mom is a nurse, and I have a couple other family members. She just inspires me, and I do want to help people, so I feel like I'm really drawn to it. Definitely Mac Mackenzie. He's definitely the goofy one. Just keeps our spirits up. Yeah, it might have to be me, honestly. I don't know. I feel like I might fill that role. I used to play basketball in high school. I played from middle school up into high school, but I quit my senior year just to focus on cross.
So who's your basketball guy? Who's your player? Who's your GOAT?
It's pretty cliche, but LeBron James, definitely.
So you still kind of keep up with basketball?
Yeah, I pretty much follow him in the NBA.
Can you dunk?
No, I can't dunk. I got close. I'm not tall, but I got close. I guess I'm pretty good with a yo-yo. I'm okay. I'm not as good as some people, but I don't know. That's the only thing I can think of off the top of my head. Probably Whataburger, because it's always open 24/7. And if I'm going to Whataburger, I'm getting a sweet and spicy bacon burger. That's the go-to.
Coming up next here on Argo Sports Insider, Maya's going to check in with the lighter side with some of our student athletes.
Real change occurs in that split second, a moment of connection among people.
With a common purpose, a shared vision,
and a unified goal. What will you change?
What will change you? The University of West Florida. No limits.
For those who measure success by the worn tread on their tires, and those who strengthen their body and mind and drift through their weekends over nature's current. Andrews Institute, for those who move.
Welcome back to Argo Sports Insider. It's time for another edition of The Lighter Side. Today we asked a few of our student athletes what's their hidden talent off the court. What is your best non-athletic talent?
Well, I used to be a dancer, so I'm pretty flexible in my legs especially, so I can kind of kick my leg up and touch my head if I'm super stretched.
My hidden talent, I don't really got too many, but I can make a water drop sound in my mouth.
Dancing.
What kind of dancing?
Break dancing.
Can you do it?
I can solve a Rubik's Cube pretty fast, like under 20 seconds, so I feel like that's probably my non-athletic talent.
I can tie my shoes with one hand.
Can.
Either one, whichever one we need at the moment.
Okay, so it's pretty much, it's almost exactly like you would tie a shoe normally with both hands. The only issue is you gotta really pin this part down with this finger and pull this way. Make your little bunny loops. Go under and through. So same thing, you want to pin it down with this finger and then pull this part through the loop. And there you go. Usually it's a little bit tighter, but I was nervous.
Not only are our student athletes good on the court, but they can break dance, make water noises, and tie their shoe with one hand. Back to you, Will.
That'll do it for this episode of Argo Sports Insider. Of course, you can always get the latest news, schedule updates, all kinds of information. GoArgos.com and follow us on social media. Pretty much Go Argos everywhere. And all our individual programs have their different social media platforms as well. We thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on Argo Sports Insider.